This is the fight that nobody can stop talking about. The fight that left fans divided, debates raging, and the UFC scrambling to make a decision. You saw it. You felt it. You know exactly why this rematch is already being whispered behind closed doors. The tension, the razor-thin margins, the controversy that refuses to die. And here's the truth, when a fight like this happens, when the stakes are this high, there is no waiting. The UFC knows what they have on their hands, and they are moving fast. Just 3 days after Magomed and Ankalaev's shocking victory at UFC 313, the world of mixed martial arts is already buzzing with one question. Will Alex Pereira get his rematch? And let's be honest, you already know why you're here. You need that answer. You need to know if we're going to see these two warriors collide again. Because something about that fight didn't sit right, did it? The decision. The scorecards. The moments where it felt like the tide could turn at any second. That's why this rematch isn't just speculation, it's already in the works. Negotiations are happening, discussions are heating up, and you are about to get the full story. Stay with me till the end, because this isn't just about a fight. This is about legacy, revenge, and the most dangerous rivalry in the light heavyweight division. Magomed and Ankalaev's road to the top has been anything but easy. For years, he's been the fighter no one wanted to face, a calculated, technical machine with a style that many feared but few appreciated. Fans love knockouts, they love bloodbaths, they love unpredictability. But Ankalaev, he's the chess master of the division. He doesn't make reckless mistakes. He doesn't get drawn into unnecessary brawls. He breaks his opponents down, piece by piece, until they have nowhere left to go. That's exactly what he did to Alex Pereira at UFC 313. But here's the thing, was it convincing enough? That's the question on everyone's mind. Because while Ankalaev walked away with the belt, two of the judges scored it 48-47. That means just a single round could have changed everything. That means Pereira wasn't just in the fight, he was right there, inches away from holding on to his title. And when a fight is that close, when the margins are that thin, you already know what happens next. The UFC doesn't like controversy. They don't like gray areas. They like definitive champions, undeniable victories, and undisputed kings. That's why, just days after the fight, they're already working to make this rematch happen. And guess what? Magomed Ankalaev is ready. He's not dodging, he's not hesitating, and he's certainly not looking for an easy defense. He knows the whispers, he knows what people are saying, and he wants to prove once and for all that he is the best light heavyweight on the planet. Speaking to the media after returning to his home in Dagestan, Ankalaev made it clear, if they want a rematch, we are ready to do it again. That is the mentality of a true champion. No excuses. No running. Just war. But here's where things get really interesting. Because on the other side of this equation is a man who has never backed down from a fight. A man who has carved his way through multiple divisions, toppling legends, and silencing doubters at every turn. Alex Pereira is not just any former champion, he is the most dangerous knockout artist in the sport today. And if you think for a second that he's going to accept this loss and move on, you don't know Pereira. He is a warrior. He is a hunter. And he wants his belt back. Look at his track record. Before stepping into the cage against Ankalaev, Pereira had done what no one else could. He had conquered the division at a pace never seen before, defending his title 3 times in just 6 months. While other champions picked their fights carefully, spacing them out, Giving themselves time to recover, Pereira went to war again and again. 11 months. 4 fights. And then, finally, his streak came to an end. But let's be clear, this was no fall from grace. This was no one-sided domination. Pereira pushed Ankalaev. He forced him into deep waters. And now he wants another shot. And here's why he deserves it. First, let's talk about legacy. Pereira is not just another champion. He is one of the most active, most exciting, and most lethal fighters in the sport. He doesn't sit back and wait. He doesn't turn down fights. He shows up every time and delivers the kind of performances that fans remember forever. The UFC needs fighters like him. Fighters who are willing to put it all on the line time and time again. That's why, when a champion like Pereira loses, you don't just send him back to the line. You give him his shot to reclaim what was his. And then there's the business side of things. Let's be honest, fighting is about money just as much as it's about competition. And Pereira is a superstar. His fights sell. His knockouts go viral. He brings in the numbers, the pay-per-view buys, the global attention that the UFC thrives on. That's why this rematch isn't just about competition. It's about business. And business is booming when Alex Pereira steps into the octagon. So now we arrive at the inevitable question. When does this rematch happen? Because let's be real, there's no if about it. This rematch will happen. The UFC is already moving behind the scenes. The negotiations have begun, and both fighters want it. Pereira needs to prove that he can correct his mistakes, that he can overcome Ankalaev's technical style and reclaim his throne. And Ankalaev? He needs to erase all doubt. He needs to show the world that his victory wasn't just a matter of scoring, it was definitive. The only thing left to figure out is how soon these two warriors will collide again. Will the UFC book it for an immediate rematch? Will we see them settle the score before the year ends? Or will Pereira have to wait just a little longer to get his shot at redemption? One thing is certain. The light heavyweight division just became the most exciting division in the sport. And this rematch is about to be the biggest fight of the year. Stay tuned, because the storm is coming. And when Pereira and Ankalaev step into that cage again, there will be no questions left. Only war. And so, the stage is being set. The UFC, the fighters, the fans, everyone knows what's coming. But the real question, the one burning in the minds of millions, is how this rematch will unfold. Will it be a repeat of the first fight, a razor-thin battle that once again divides the world? Or will one of these warriors step forward, erase all doubt, and leave no room for controversy? For Pereira, this isn't just about getting his belt back. It's about proving something to himself, to the world, to the doubters who think Ankalaev has his number. And that is exactly why this rematch might be even more dangerous than their first fight. Because when Pereira enters the cage this time, he won't just be fighting to win, he'll be fighting to finish. Look back at his greatest performances, the ones that turned him into a legend. His rematch against Israel Adesanya in kickboxing. The way he came back after losing to Adesanya in the UFC, stalking him down, knowing that if he landed the right shot, the fight would be over. Pereira doesn't just adapt, he learns. He evolves. He takes his mistakes and turns them into weapons. And that is exactly what makes him so dangerous going into this rematch. Because he's been in this position before. He knows what it feels like to lose. And he knows exactly what it takes to come back stronger. But here's where things get even more intense. Because Ankalaev is not a Adesanya. He's not a flashy striker who relies on movement and counterpunching. He's a technician, a fighter who breaks his opponents down bit by bit until there's nothing left. And if you think he's going to let Pereira just walk in and make adjustments, you're mistaken. Because if there's one thing Ankalaev wants, it's to end this rivalry definitively. He's heard the whispers. He knows what people are saying. That he didn't do enough. That the fight was too close. That if it had gone just a little differently, Pereira might still be champion. And that is exactly why he's not hesitating to take this rematch. Because in his mind, he wasn't just the better fighter that night, he is the better fighter. And this time, he's going to leave no room for doubt. So how does this fight play out? That's the million-dollar question. If Pereira comes out more aggressive, looking for the knockout early, does he risk getting taken down and controlled? If Ankalaev plays it too safe, does he give Pereira the openings he needs to land that one fight-ending shot? The first fight was a chess match. But this might be a war. Because here's the thing. Pereira knows that if he lets this go to the judges again, he's taking a risk. Ankalaev's style is built for decision victories. His control, his ability to dictate the pace, his precision, those are the kinds of weapons that win rounds. Pereira, his weapon is destruction. One shot. One moment. That's all it takes. And that's exactly why this fight will be different. Expect Pereira to be more aggressive. Expect him to take risks. Expect him to come in with the mindset that this fight doesn't go 5 rounds. That he doesn't leave it in the hands of the judges. That he ends Ankalaev the way he's ended so many before. But also expect Ankalaev to be ready. Because he knows exactly what's coming. He knows Pereira won't wait this time. And that means he has the chance to do what no one has done: completely neutralize Pereira, shut him down, and prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is the rightful champion.